功夫是周星驰先生2004年自导自演的经典喜剧动作片。这部电影融合了深厚的武术文化、独特的喜剧元素和富有哲思的主题，成为了华语电影的经典之作。通过这个故事来锻炼我们的英语听力吧。
Kung Fu Hustle, A Hero's Ascent. Chapter 1. The Aspiring Gangster in a Troubled World. In the 1940s, a time of chaos and unrest in China, the city was plagued by various criminal gangs. Among them, the Axe Gang reigned supreme, spreading fear and intimidation far and wide. Their symbol, a menacing axe, struck terror into the hearts of the people. Our story begins with Sing, a small-time street urchin with big dreams. Sing, played by Stephen Chow, was a young man who seemed to have nothing going for him. He was scrawny, unkempt, and constantly looking for a way to rise above his low-status life. His only companion was his overweight friend, Bone. Sing's greatest aspiration was to join the Axe Gang, believing that it would bring him respect, power, and wealth. One day, Sing and Bone decided to cause some trouble in Pigsty Alley, a run-down and seemingly peaceful slum. They thought it would be an easy target to show off their toughness. Disguised as members of the Axe Gang, they entered a barber shop. The barber, Sauce Boss, was a feisty character who refused to be bullied. He called out the bluff of Sing and Bone, and soon the entire alley was in an uproar. The residents of Pigsty Alley, tired of being harassed, surrounded the two imposters. Just as things were getting out of hand, Sing tried to make a quick escape. In a panic, he threw a firecracker which accidentally landed among a group of real Axe Gang members outside the alley. This act of misfortune brought the Axe Gang's wrath down upon Pigsty Alley. The Axe Gang, led by the ruthless brother Sum, arrived at the alley with a menacing presence. They were ready to teach the residents a lesson. As the tension escalated, the Axe Gang poured oil on a mother and her young son, threatening to set them ablaze. At this critical moment, a man named Coolie Cat stepped forward. Coolie Cat, with his powerful 12-road tan legs, was one of the many hidden talents in Pigsty Alley. He engaged the Axe Gang in a fierce fight, his legs moving with incredible speed and force. Not far behind, the tailor, a master of Hunga iron wire fist, and the fry cook, who wielded the five-dragon Bagua staff, also joined the battle. The three of them, with their unique martial arts skills, managed to drive the Axe Gang away for the time being. But they knew that this victory was only temporary, and the Axe Gang would surely return for revenge. After the fight, Sing and Bone watched in awe as the three heroes saved the day. Sing was both amazed and frustrated. He realized that his own dreams of being a tough guy were far from reality, and his encounter with the real power of martial arts left him with a new sense of longing and envy. Chapter 2. The Past That Shaped the Present. That night, as Sing and Bone sat in a dimly lit corner, Sing opened up about his past. When he was a child, Sing witnessed a young mute girl named Fong being bullied by a group of hooligans. Filled with a sense of justice, young Sing stepped in to protect her. However, his act of kindness was met with a brutal beating. The hooligans laughed at him and told him that in this world being good didn't pay off. From that day on, Sing decided that he would no longer be a good person. He would become a member of a powerful gang, like the Axe Gang, so that no one could ever bully him again. Bone listened quietly, understanding his friend's pain. But he also knew that deep down, Sing was still a kind-hearted person. Despite Sing's tough talk and his attempts to be a part of the criminal world, Bone could see the conflict within him. Back in Pigsty Alley, the residents were also discussing the day's events. The landlady, a fierce and loud-mouthed woman known as the landlady, was furious. She berated the residents for causing trouble and attracting the attention of the Axe Gang. But beneath her tough exterior, she was also worried about the safety of everyone in the alley. Her husband, the landlord, was a much quieter man, but he also shared her concerns. Unknown to most of the residents, the landlady and the landlord were not ordinary people. They were both highly skilled martial artists, but they had long ago decided to live a quiet life and hide their true abilities. They had seen the dark side of the martial world and wanted no part of it. However, with the Axe Gang's threat looming over them, they knew that their peaceful life might be coming to an end. Chapter 3. The Axe Gang's Revenge and the First Showdown. True to their word, the Axe Gang returned to Pigsty Alley with a vengeance. This time, they brought with them two deadly assassins, the harpist and the violinist. These two were known for their unique and deadly fighting style. They used their musical instruments as weapons, and their attacks were often accompanied by a haunting melody. The harpist and the violinist quickly found the three heroes of Pigsty Alley. Coolie Cat, the tailor, and the fry cook. In a one-sided battle, the two assassins used their sonic attacks to weaken the three martial artists. The heroes fought bravely, but they were no match for the assassins' strange and powerful techniques. One by one, they fell, unable to withstand the onslaught. Just when it seemed like all was lost, the landlady stepped in. With a powerful shout, she unleashed her lion's roar technique, a sound-based attack that was so powerful it could shatter objects and send people flying. The harpist and the violinist were caught off guard, and for a moment they were stunned. Taking advantage of this opportunity, the landlord also joined the fight. He used his Tai Chi skills to deflect the assassin's attacks and counterattack. The two martial arts masters, the landlady and the landlord, fought together in perfect harmony. Their combined skills were a sight to behold, and the Axe Gang members watched in horror as their assassins were being defeated. In the end, the harpist and the violinist were forced to retreat. The Axe Gang, humiliated and defeated, fled from Pigsty Alley. But Brother Sum, the leader of the Axe Gang, was not one to give up easily. He knew that he needed a more powerful weapon to deal with the residents of Pigsty Alley, and he had just the person in mind. Chapter 4. The Search for the Ultimate Weapon. Brother Sum decided to seek the help of a dangerous and unpredictable figure, the Beast, also known as the God of Gamblers. The Beast was a martial arts master who had been imprisoned in a mental asylum for his extreme and violent behavior. He was said to be invincible, and his fighting skills were the stuff of legends. Brother Sum sent Sing and Bone to the mental asylum to retrieve the Beast. Sing, seeing this as an opportunity to finally prove himself to the Axe Gang, readily agreed. Despite the fear in his heart, he and Bone made their way into the depths of the asylum. The asylum was a dark and eerie place, filled with the screams and cries of the inmates. When they finally reached the Beast's cell, Sing was taken aback by the sight of the man inside. The Beast, played by Sammo Hung, was a wild-looking man with a crazed expression on his face. But Sing knew that he couldn't back down now. With a trembling hand, he opened the cell door. The Beast emerged from the cell, looking around him with a sense of curiosity and menace. Sing and Bone led him out of the asylum and back to the Axe Gang's lair. Brother Sum and the other Axe Gang members were both impressed and intimidated by the Beast's presence. The Beast, however, was not interested in the Axe Gang's petty schemes. He wanted a worthy opponent, a challenge that would test his skills, and he knew just where to find it. He set his sights on Pigsty Alley and the powerful martial artists who resided there. Chapter 5. The Clash of Titans. The Beast arrived at Pigsty Alley with a swagger and a confidence that was both intimidating and terrifying. The landlady and the landlord, knowing that they were facing a formidable opponent, prepared themselves for the battle of their lives. The fight that ensued was nothing short of epic. The Beast's fighting style was a combination of brute force and speed. He attacked with wild abandon, his fists and feet moving so fast that they were almost a blur. The landlady and the landlord, on the other hand, used their skills and experience to try and defend themselves. The landlady unleashed her lion's roar technique again and again, but the Beast seemed to be unaffected by it. He charged towards her, his fists aimed at her head. The landlord stepped in, using his Tai Chi to deflect the Beast's attacks. But the Beast was too powerful, and he managed to break through the landlord's defenses. As the fight raged on, it became clear that the landlady and the landlord were in trouble. They were both getting tired, and the Beast showed no signs of slowing down. But just when it seemed like all was lost, Sing, who had been watching the fight from a distance, had a change of heart. He remembered the kindness of the people in Pigsty Alley, the way they had stood up for each other, and the sense of community that he had never experienced before. He realized that he didn't want to be a part of the Axe Gang anymore. He wanted to be a hero, to help those in need. With a newfound sense of purpose, Sing jumped into the fight. He knew that he was no match for the Beast in terms of skill or strength, but he was determined to do something. He attacked the Beast with all his might, but his attacks were easily deflected. The Beast, enraged by Sing's interference, turned his attention towards him. He grabbed Sing and threw him across the street. Sing landed hard, his body broken and battered. But as he lay there, something strange happened. A flashback of his childhood, when he had bought a book on the legendary Buddha's palm technique, came to his mind. Suddenly, Sing felt a surge of energy within him. His body began to heal, and his injuries miraculously disappeared. He realized that the Beast's attacks had somehow awakened his latent martial arts abilities. He was no longer the weak and helpless street urchin. He was now a powerful martial artist, a force to be reckoned with. Chapter 6. The Awakening of the Hero. Sing, now filled with newfound power, stood up and faced the Beast once again. This time, he was a different person. His eyes were filled with determination, and his body radiated a powerful aura. The beast, sensing the change in Sing, was both surprised and intrigued. He charged toward Sing, ready to test his newfound abilities. Sing, using the Buddha's palm technique that he had learned from the book as a child, counterattacked. His palm strikes were powerful, and each one sent shockwaves through the air. The two of them engaged in a fierce battle, their attacks and counterattacks creating a spectacle that the residents of Pigsty Alley had never seen before. The Axe Gang members, who had been watching the fight with anticipation, were now in awe of Sing's skills. As the fight continued, Sing began to gain the upper hand. He used his speed and agility to dodge the beast's attacks and land his own powerful blows. The beast, realizing that he was in trouble, decided to use his ultimate technique, the toad style. He crouched down, his body taking on the shape of a toad, and then launched himself towards Sing with incredible speed. Sing, undaunted, prepared to face the beast's final attack. He focused all his energy, his mind clear and his body ready. As the beast came closer, Sing jumped into the air and unleashed his most powerful move, the Great Buddha's Palm. A huge golden handprint appeared in the sky, and with a thunderous roar, it came crashing down on the beast. The impact was so powerful that it created a huge crater in the ground. The beast, defeated, lay in the crater, his body broken and his spirit crushed. Sing, the hero, stood victorious, his body bathed in the sunlight. The residents of Pigsty Alley cheered and applauded, and even the Axe Gang members, impressed by Sing's strength and courage, bowed down to him. Chapter 7. The Aftermath and the New Beginning. After the battle, Pigsty Alley was in a state of disrepair. But the residents, filled with a new sense of hope and unity, decided to rebuild. They worked together side by side to restore their home to its former glory. Sing, now a local hero, decided to use his newfound skills and fame to help others. He opened a small martial arts school where he taught the children of Pigsty Alley the importance of martial arts, not just as a means of self-defense, but also as a way of life. One day, as Sing was walking through the street, he saw a familiar face. It was Fong, the mute girl from his childhood. She was selling lollipops on the street corner, just as she had done all those years ago. Sing, filled with joy and nostalgia, walked up to her. Fong recognized him immediately, and a smile spread across her face. The two of them stood there, looking at each other, their eyes filled with emotion. After all these years, they had finally found each other again. Sing took Fong's hand, and together, they walked away, ready to start a new life together. In the end, Sing had achieved his childhood dream of becoming a hero, but he had also learned that true strength came not from power or fame, but from the love and kindness in one's heart. And as he walked away with Fong, he knew that his journey was just beginning.